This week's Piltch Point with Avram Piltch is proudly powered by PureVPN. We have talked many times, including just a moment ago, about security online, and one of the best ways to keep your privacy and your security online is with a VPN service. And PureVPN gives you the ability to both obfuscate your browsing history, both from Google, Facebook, and your ISP, but it also gives the ability to report that you're elsewhere. So if you're out of the country and would like to still sign into your Hulu account and use it, you can. And right now, for our viewers, they're giving a really great deal. It is $2.88 a month instead of $10.95 a month when you sign up for 2 years. And all of that is available by going to piltchpoint.live/purevpn. All right. So Avram has got a thing next to him. Yes. We always like Avram show and tells.
So we're going to do this together in real time because I have not taken this out of the box. I just opened the box before we started, so I didn't have to spend time monkeying with the with the tabs on the box or tape or whatever. So this here is called the Ultimate Hacking Keyboard. Now, why is it called the Ultimate Hacking Keyboard? Not that it's great for being a hacker or something. It's not the choice necessarily of Hugh Jackman from Swordfish, but it's but it has open source for the software, and you can do a lot of things to it. So let's open this up. You'll notice on the box it is a split keyboard. So the folks that make this sent me one. It is not coming out until October, so I have it early. So let's take the plastic off here. Thank you. Okay. So here's mine. Now you can buy this with a variety of different options. They asked me what color I wanted it. You have a choice of black, white, I think yellow, blue, or red, and I chose the dark blue. Maybe I should have gone with a brighter color. Whenever companies offer to send me something and there's a choice of get it in a color or get it black or white or silver, I always go with the color because everything is black, or white or silver. So it's like in the photos, it gets annoying. It gets boring to look at pictures of that all the time. So, especially if you were browsing through reviews on our site. So, over here you can see the back of this. And I want to see if I can actually... It's nicely attached, but it's actually not supposed to be attached. I think you're supposed to be able to You're supposed to be detaching these. Although I guess you could use it like this, so that would be interesting, right? Let's see. So, what do I need to do to pull this apart? Don't know. It feels really well to get stuck together. Oh, wait. It's coming. It's coming.
There it goes.
Okay. So let me tell you a few things about this. First of all, you get a choice of switch types. So I chose cherry green switches. For those who don't know the difference, cherry blue and green are clicky. Green is a little bit has a little bit more resistance than blue, and I actually haven't tried cherry green before. I've tried razor green ones, and so I was curious to try that. I love clicky. It also is and as we said, it's available in a few different colors. And one of the more interesting things about it is the accessories you can get. So when you hold it, you'll use a wire to connect these two pieces together. And what you can do is you see these little pins here, and it allows you can buy modules that attach to it. So when it's sort of split like this or like this, I guess, on your desk, you could buy a little trackball and put it over here. or a little. They have a trackball. They have a set of 3 keys. They have a touchpad, and they have my personal favorite, even though I haven't tried it yet on this, a track point, like a ThinkPad style track point. It looks actually exactly like a ThinkPad one. It's red, so uh, they're not even trying to pretend that it's like a generic pointing stick.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that violates some copyright or what. But so they haven't come out with them. They haven't. The modules aren't ready yet, so they didn't send me those. They sent me this, and there's software that lets you really configure it. I'm not really sure yet what you do with the screen, um, but it's very interesting thing. You also can get it with different types of keys. So uh, I chose sort of the normal American layout, but you can get it with the European layout, and you have a choice of a couple of different fonts on the keys. I just chose the most generic ones. Uh, maybe it would have been more interesting if I didn't. So also over here, well, let's see what else is in the box first of all. So also in the box, we have this telephone-like cable. This is used to link the two sides together, as you can see in the picture. You have these things here, which are feet, which I guess aren't on it by default, but you can put them on. USB cable. Well, you always need that with a keyboard, right?
Sure.
Unless it's wireless. I don't even know what this is. Oh, a bunch of little tiny screws. I'm not really sure what you're supposed to do with that. Oh, maybe that's for attaching the feet.
Oh, that could be.
So one other thing that they sent me is the palm rest. Ta-da! So the palm rest is, I think wood. Let's see if it's real wood. And if you get the black one, I don't know if it'll look so much this way with blue, but if you get the black one, it sure looks like an old Atari. When you do that, somebody in my office said it looks like you have an Atari. Let's see.
Especially in the photo there, it definitely reminds me a lot of the box that my Atari 2600's in, right down to the color palette. Ooh.
Although this is a dark, I think
Yeah,
I
it
don't know if
is.
to like it, but it's a darker wood than the picture.
Yeah, it is.
So looks good. I think this is real wood. I can't tell 100% for sure. I don't know if it certainly has it's very smooth. There's no rough edges to it.
That's important.
Well, yeah, you certainly want to get a splinter, right? Interesting. I'm gonna have to give this a try. I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about this part here, the wood palm rest, because I like really soft wrist rest, and this is not soft. But you can see this is hard metal here.
Yeah.
That I guess you're supposed to screw it. I guess that's what these screw holes are on the back here. You screw it in, and then you have one for each side, one split. So I'll be curious to try it. It's definitely very interesting. All the software for it is open source, so you can actually make your own software for it. But it sounds like the software is very robust. Because the hacking part is you changing stuff about it. The one thing that's not really hackable about it is I don't think you can remove the switches on your own. So, I mean, I don't think it's meant to have test swappable switches. I've seen some keyboards that do, which would be kind of cool. But, considering the keyboard itself comes apart, I really like the idea that I could have a track point in this because I love having it on my laptop, and I kind of like to have it on my desktop keyboard. But there are a couple of things that are of some concern here, depending on how you like your layout. There's no arrow keys, right?
Oh.
Right. I think there are arrow keys here that you can get by hitting function, like you see IJKL if you have a little arrow below them.
Okay.
But there's no native arrow keys on this. Now, some people in the mechanical keyboard fandom, who this is clearly designed for. By the way, this is an expensive keyboard. Uh, the keyboard alone, without the palm rest, is $275.
Okay.
The modules are going to be, I think, $60, and the palm rest is. I'm looking at it by default. It comes from Europe, so okay, palm rest is $75. The keyboard is $275, and the modules are all $60 each. So, let's say you wanted to get this with a track point and the palm rest, which they kind of want you to have. And to be honest, you kind of need a palm because your standard wrist rests probably aren't made for this because they're straight, right? I mean, I love having my gel rest. Love it, love it. Here's my giant gel rest that I always use, right? Uh, Obviously not made for a split keyboard. So, but I know there are a lot of folks in the mechanical keyboard, fan community who like having fewer keys. They don't want to have arrow keys. They don't want to have numeric keypad. There are even some keyboards, I think 40% keyboard or something that have don't even have a number row. Oh, you know what this also doesn't have? Function row. No function row either.
Yeah, I see that.
If you want the function row, you have to hit the FN key in the top row. You know,
Okay.
obviously, for the folks who like that kind of thing, this is good. I'm gonna come out and say I'm gonna judge this keyboard on its merits and what it's trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
So it's trying to accomplish being really compact. But for me, I don't know. I'll see if I can get used to that, but I like having more buttons, not less. So I don't like having a 10 keyless keyboard, which is, for those not in the know, is a keyboard without the number pad. And if I had my druthers, I would have more extra buttons. If I could get another function row up there to get like 24 function keys, some more on the side. Like if I could get an old fashioned like terminal keyboard or one of those stock trader keyboards, which I've seen some on eBay, and get it with
Like
modern
those
amenities
like those crazy
the
Bloomberg
switches I
terminal
want.
keyboards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I saw. I'm a follower of our mechanical keyboards on Reddit, and somebody put up a picture of. I think it was a Bloomberg keyboard. If not, it was another trading
Sure.
place, and yeah, it had a ridiculous amount of keys on it and a little screen.
Yeah.
But it didn't necessarily have the mechanical switches that I would want. No cool RGBs, but and I have to get a used one that someone else's mitts have been all over. But it's
Yeah, because you probably don't want to spend
I
the
just feel like-
$45,000 on the Bloomberg terminal just to get the keyboard.
I don't even know if they still make the keyboard.
Maybe not.
Right? They're on eBay for like $100. You can get, I think it's called like a 110% keyboard or something.
Okay. Interesting.
If you Google it on eBay, they're called. No, it's not even easy to find. Anyway, needless to say, this is the ultimate hacking keyboard here. And what's ultimate about it is that you can do all kinds of things to the software, and you can add modules, and you can use it like this, or you can pull it apart. Right? You could use it like this. Interesting that it has like two different space buttons because it's meant to be pulled apart.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure what the screen gives you. So that's something when I review this, which I will do in the near future. I'll find out. But I just want to share that with everyone. It's definitely a very interesting keyboard. And listen, I'm not against somebody spending, $350, $400 on a keyboard, because if you're really happy with it and you're using it every day, then the keyboard is going to make more of a difference in your computer life than almost anything else. Your
Agreed.
keyboard, your monitor, your mouse are the things that you look at and touch every day, every way. So I could upgrade my computer from a 512 gigabyte SSD to a 1 terabyte SSD, but will I notice the difference all the time, every day, right
Right.
away?
Every moment
Maybe
of
not
every
until I
day.
really use up that space, right? But the things that you touch, and you keep it for years. I had IBM keyboards that I kept for 5, 10 years,
Several generations of
easily.
computer.
Now I want to say you don't have to spend a lot of money to get a good keyboard, because here I have the 70, I think $70 Hex Gears Impulse, which has been my favorite keyboard now since I first tried it a few months ago, and it is absolutely a joy to type on, because it uses Kale white switches, which are the best switches that I've used. They are absolutely awesome. They are clicky, but they have a better feel and click than standard blue switches. They have a little bit less travel, but not a lot less travel, so you can type faster. I absolutely love, and there are not many keyboards that are available with Kale white switches, but the Hex Gears Impulse, which is, depending on whether you get the model with the RGB keys or not, I think $70 or $80 on Amazon, is my favorite right now, because it is absolutely just an absolute pleasure to type on. And if that's what matters, it doesn't have any software. So if that's what matters to you the most, you don't have to spend an arm and a leg to get a keyboard with a great key feel. But something like that ultimate hackable hacking keyboard, gives you the opportunity to do all kinds of interesting stuff with it. I'm going to be really excited when they send me those modules to see what it's like having that track point in the middle of my keyboard. Anyway, that's just a quick look at it. We'll be putting up a review in the near future on Tom's Hardware. We'll see if we're getting the modules sooner than later. We might wait till we get the module. But
Makes sense.
and if someone's interested in buying it now, although I don't think they're shipping it till October, you can go to ultimatehackingkeyboard.com.
Very cool. Well, it's definitely interesting looking. When it's all together like that, it's way smaller than I was expecting.
Yeah.
But when you pull it apart into two pieces and add something in the middle and stuff like that, I can see, it gets kind of back to a normal size thing. But it looks like the keys are normal. It's just because it's missing all the extra keys on the outsides. It just makes the whole keyboard look almost like a kid's toy. I'm used to my big gaming keyboard that's got, two columns of keys on the left and media controls all across the top and a screen and a
right. That's I don't think I don't get why somebody would want fewer keys on their keyboard unless they were traveling and they needed to fit in the bag.
Right.
So that I kind of get, but for your everyday desk, I like more. But
I'm not taking a $300 modular keyboard in my laptop bag.
Yeah, I mean, maybe somebody is.
Maybe.
I mean, it certainly fits it's certainly very small,
Yeah.
right? So
It'll be interesting to see what
we'll see. I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what your final take is on it.
I'm excited to try typing on it and using it. I do foresee the lack of a function row and the lack of dedicated arrow keys and function row being a potential problem for me. But it really, for some folks, obviously a target. It may not be, and maybe it's worth it for the other advantages. I haven't really used split keyboards very, very often, so it's not for an extended period of time.
Sure.
So I'm kind of curious to see what that's like.
Whenever I think of split keyboards, I always think of Donna on Parks and Rec with the keyboard with the keys on either side. And she's like, I can't fly a spaceship. This keyboard's not going to work.
Oh man, they have some ergonomic ones, right? That you just have it.
Yeah. That was what Donna ended up with. She's like, I feel like I'm flying a spaceship. I can't fly a spaceship. This isn't going to work for me.
I'm putting a message out to. I'm putting a keyboard message out to our audience. I personally would love to find find a keyboard that had a ridiculous amount of keys, which seems to be the opposite of the trend. So I'm curious what people have seen out there. And B, I would love to find, speaking of something that's weird, something a good sort of mobile keyboard for working on the go. I used to know a guy who was kind of had a wearable headset that he wore all the time, and he had invented what he called a keyer, which was something that had like 10 or 15 keys, and he could hold it in his hand and therefore through combinations get all the letters and all the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious if anything like that exists commercially, because I've looked and I've never seen it.
It's called Decatext. I'll send you a link after the show.
Can you get a Bluetooth thing that does that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
The inventor's
Cool.
name is Wayne something. Wayne, I can't think of his last name, but Decatext.
Oh, cool. See, question answered. Anyway,
I have tried so hard to learn to use that thing. I've known Wayne for years. I have held that thing in my hand. He's been on the show before. I cannot type on it.
I mean, I probably would give up, but I'd love to try that little challenge.
Well, I'll get you a link after the show. But yeah, Decatext.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Cool.
Obviously, everybody, Avram and I are keyboard people.
Yeah.
I think both of us have way more keyboards than our number of hands would ever need.
Yeah.
And so it's always fun to talk keyboards because like you said, it's the thing that you use. Like it is your primary interaction device with a computer. So it's the thing that really needs to,
It matters almost the most to me of anything on my computer. That's why when I buy a laptop, it matters the most to me. Gotta have my keyboard.
Yeah, makes sense. And I definitely look forward to hearing your final take on this after you've messed around with it, because clearly, for those of you who are watching, we just opened the box, so we have no information on it, but.
Live unboxing.
But Avram will have a review at some point on Tom's Hardware. So I look forward to seeing what that looks like.
Cool.
And as always, Avram, I always love talking new stuff, especially when that new stuff is keyboards. So, and I look forward to whatever we talk about next time.